October 16th, 1846, the day pain finally took a nap. Inside Boston's ether dome, Dr. William T.G. Morton uncorked a bottle of ether, waved it like a magician, and the patient drifted off quietly instead of screaming in Latin. For the first time in history, surgeons operated without an audience fainting, and humanity discovered that compassion could be inhaled. That's why every October 16th we celebrate World Anesthesia Day, the day mercy found chemistry and surgery found silence. Long before anyone said Propofol, the healers of the Nile mixed opium, Mandrake, and blind faith. Their anesthesia checklist was simple: if the patient stops talking, start cutting. Today, their papyrus scrolls rest on modern monitors, proof that pain control has always been humanity's favorite invention. From reed mats to recovery rooms, the Nile still whispers the same advice: let the patient sleep first. 600 years before Christ, and long before anesthesia machines beeped in the night, Sushruta, the father of surgery, had a bright idea. If wine can make people sing, maybe it can also make them sleep. He mixed cannabis smoke and fermented drink, called it preoperative sedation, and wrote everything down on palm leaves. That was the world's first documented inhalational anesthesia, though recovery time ranged from minutes to metaphysics. In 2nd century China, Dr. Hua Tuo invented Ma Fei San, a magical mix of wine, cannabis, and mystery. He performed abdominal surgery while his patients rested in what we'd now call deep sedation, or perhaps divine Wi-Fi disconnection. The emperor demanded the recipe. Hua Tuo refused and lost his head. 2,000 years later, we still can't publish our formulas without peer review. Some things never change. The Greeks invented medicine and the Romans invented noise. Hippocrates recommended wine, vinegar, and philosophy as anesthetics. Only one of them worked. The Romans added opium and myrrh and called it progress. When the patient screamed, they said, excellent respiration. 2,000 years later, we finally replaced wine with Propofol. Same relaxation, fewer hangovers. In 10th century Cordoba, a genius named Al-Zahrawi, or Abul Qasis if you wanted the Arabic edition, discovered that pain could be silenced with science. He created the sleep sponge, soaked in opium, mandrake, and henbane, the first portable anesthesia device, no battery required. His students tested it, his patients loved it, and his cat probably slept for a week. 1,000 years later, in Sudan, we still mix skill and compassion, though now our sponges are soaked in chlorhexidine, not henbane, most of the time. Between the 12th and 17th centuries, Europe performed surgery at the speed of confession. The barber surgeon's anesthesia was a tankard of ale and the promise of salvation. If you screamed, you were alive. If you stopped, congratulations, your operation was over. Modern anesthesia replaced speed with science and replaced sawdust with standards. Today in Sudan, we measure blood pressure instead of prayer volume. In 1772, Joseph Priestley discovered nitrous oxide. In 1799, Humphrey Davy inhaled it, laughed for an hour, and declared this could be useful for surgery, then immediately invited friends to a gas party. Science was fun, slightly dangerous, and occasionally unconscious. 2 centuries later, we still use the same molecule, but now it comes with alarms, scavengers, and far fewer dance moves. When dentists get bored, history happens. Crawford Long quietly used ether in 1842, but forgot to tell anyone. Horace Wells tried nitrous oxide in 1844, and his patients screamed anyway. Then, in 1846, William Thomas Green Morton said, "Hold my inhaler," and the world's first public painless surgery began. That day, October 16th, the audience gasped, the patient slept, and pain officially lost its job. In 1847, Dr. James Young Simpson discovered chloroform and declared it divine right before fainting himself. 6 years later, Queen Victoria inhaled it during the birth of Prince Leopold and announced, "Delightful beyond measure." Overnight, chloroform became fashionable, priests protested, midwives panicked, and the Royal College updated their dress code to include handkerchiefs. That single royal nap made anesthesia socially acceptable, proof that when a queen sleeps, the world calms down. The 19th century was a chemical love triangle. Ether arrived first, gentle, effective, and very flammable. Then came chloroform, sweet-smelling, faster, and sometimes fatal. Nitrous oxide was the funny friend who made everyone laugh but never quite worked alone. Together they turned surgery from screaming to science and proved that not every breakthrough needs to survive a spark test. In the 1850s, Dr. John Snow turned anesthesia from an art into an equation. He measured doses, recorded respiration, and invented the first vaporizer, proving that medicine works best when math is involved. He also stopped a cholera outbreak by removing a pump handle, the only doctor in history to control both gas flow and water flow. Today we do the same with monitors, graphs, and coffee. Just more screens and fewer pumps. From the battlefields of Crimea to the war hospitals of Sudan, anesthesia has always marched beside courage. Florence Nightingale carried the lamp, but it was ether that carried hope. In every conflict since, anesthetists turned chaos into calm, hand-bagging through explosions, teaching in candlelight, and sometimes performing miracles with one oxygen cylinder. Pain may follow war, but anesthesia always follows pain, quietly, bravely, and usually without enough coffee. The mid-20th century was anesthesia's chemical explosion, thankfully, not literal this time. Thiopental in 1934 gave us the first intravenous induction. Cura in 1942 made muscle relaxation possible, and Halothane in 1956 finally stopped burning down operating rooms. By the 70s, Propofol and Sevoflurane entered the party, smooth, elegant, and almost too good to share with surgeons. This was the golden age of molecules and the beginning of the anesthetist's modern love story with pharmacology and caffeine. Modern anesthesia has come a long way from wine, mandrake, and leather straps. Today, our monitors see everything except where you left your coffee. With BIS, ultrasound, and simulation labs, we train smarter and safer. In Sudan, through AnesthesiaSD and the Sudan ICU Project, anesthetists work in the toughest conditions, proving that science doesn't stop for war. The machines may beep in English, but the language of care is universal. And that's how pain took a long nap and never quite woke up. From mandrake roots to propofol pumps, from papyrus scrolls to PowerPoint slides, anesthesia has always been the art of calming chaos. Today we salute every anesthetist, nurse, and resident who keeps the light of science burning even when the power goes out. Thank you for celebrating World Anesthesia Day with us, and remember to keep the patient asleep, but never the passion.